Hey ladies, can we just take a moment to talk about something that gets completely overlooked in relationships, dating, even sex, and yet it holds the power to make a man feel you on a soul level? I'm talking about the hug. That's right, not lingerie, not a flirty text, something as simple as how you hold him. Because here's what no one tells you. When a woman knows how to hug a man, like really hug him in a way that connects, disarms, and sinks into his memory, she becomes unforgettable. Now, I know hugging probably doesn't sound like a big deal, right? We hug people all the time, friends, co-workers, our dog when we get home. But that's the point. It becomes so automatic, we forget the emotional power it holds. And I'm here to tell you, if you know how to use it, if you learn to hug a man with presence, confidence, and that deep feminine warmth, he won't just remember it. He'll crave it. He'll feel it days later when he's lying in bed, wondering why something about you just won't leave his head. So whether you've been with someone for years, you're just starting to date, or you're single and preparing for the next man lucky enough to hold you, this message is for you. Because this isn't about the hug as a formality. This is about using a hug as a tool of emotional seduction, a moment of magnetic connection. And in this video, I'm going to give you 5 powerful ways to hug a man so he never forgets the way you made him feel. These aren't tricks, these are insights, little shifts in how you show up physically and emotionally that will make all the difference in how he sees you and how he feels about you. Are you ready for that? Good. Let's get into it. Confidence is the foundation of every unforgettable hug. It's the invisible energy that wraps around him before your arms even do. When a woman hugs a man with true confidence, she communicates something deeper than affection. She communicates certainty. And that certainty is magnetic. Because let me tell you, it's not just the touch itself that stays with him. It's the feeling behind it. You could have the softest skin, the perfect perfume, all the physical elements, but if the energy is unsure, withdrawn, or hesitant, he'll feel that, and it won't leave a lasting impression. On the other hand, a confident hug, that leaves a mark. A woman who embraces without second guessing, who owns her space and her intention, becomes unforgettable. Now let's be clear, confidence in a hug isn't about being aggressive or overly sexual. It's about presence. It's about walking up to him, closing that space and holding him like you mean it. Like you're not apologizing for wanting to be close. Like your touch is not just allowed, but invited. And here's the beautiful thing. Confidence doesn't mean you have to be loud, dramatic, or performative. Some of the most powerful women I've coached radiate quiet confidence. When they hug, it's calm, grounded, but firm. They don't question whether it's okay. They don't give the half in, half out, nice to meet you squeeze. They embrace like they belong there. And that, to a man, is intoxicating. A confident hug also signals emotional maturity. It says, I'm not afraid of intimacy. So many people pull back because they fear being vulnerable. They tense up, they rush it. They're so focused on how they're being perceived that they forget to feel. But confidence dissolves all that. Confidence says, I know what I bring. I'm not hiding from this connection. I'm welcoming it. And when you bring that energy into your body, into your arms, into the moment, you allow him to relax into you. You become the calm in his chaos. And trust me, that's rare. Even in dating, especially in the early stages, a confident hug can communicate more than words ever could. It tells him without saying a thing that you're comfortable in your skin, that you're not waiting for him to lead every moment. You're showing up with your own grounded presence. It makes you stand out. While others are playing it cool, unsure whether to lean in or back off, you just go for it. You lead with warmth, with openness, with certainty. And that makes a man feel safe, seen, and deeply attracted to you on a level he can't quite explain. So the next time you go in for a hug, check in with yourself first. Are you second guessing it, or are you owning it? Because when you hug with confidence, your body says, this is exactly where I want to be. And I'm not afraid to let you feel that. And that one shift, that presence, that certainty, that ownership is what makes him never want to let you go. Timing is everything, not just in conversation, not just in attraction, but in something as seemingly small as a hug. Because the truth is, when you hug him is just as important as how you hug him. A hug given at the right moment can make a man melt. It can lower his defenses. It can make him feel emotionally connected to you in a way that no seductive glance or well-crafted text ever could. And what makes it powerful is that it doesn't rely on performance. It relies on presence. Most people hug out of politeness or habit. You see someone, you greet them, you give a quick squeeze and move on. But that's not the kind of hug that changes anything. That's not the kind of hug a man thinks about afterward. That's just motion. What we're after is emotion. And timing is the secret doorway into that emotional world. Because when you hug a man when he needs it most, but least expects it, you become something rare in his life. You become attuned to him. And that creates a level of intimacy that sticks. Think about it. He's had a long day. He walks through the door. His shoulders are tight. His mind is racing. And without a word, you walk over and wrap your arms around him. You don't ask him to talk about it. You don't rush. You just hold him for a second longer than usual. In that moment, you're not just hugging him. You're telling him, I see you. I feel you. I've got you. And that kind of emotional timing, that's what makes a man start thinking, she gets me in a way no one else does. Or maybe you're laughing together in one of those rare, beautiful moments of shared joy. And instead of letting the moment pass, you lean into it. You reach out, grab him by the shoulders and pull him in. You let the hug punctuate the connection that already exists. And just like that, a simple laugh turns into something deeper, something he remembers not just with his mind, but with his body. You turned an ordinary moment into a memory. And here's the real secret to good timing. It requires you to be present. You can't feel the right moment if you're in your head, thinking about how you look or wondering what he's thinking. You have to feel what you're feeling and notice what he needs. That emotional awareness is magnetic. It shows emotional maturity. It tells a man, I don't just react to life, I respond to it. And that quality, that's incredibly attractive. So don't just wait for the hello or goodbye. Watch for the unspoken invitations, the quiet moments when he needs comfort, reassurance, connection. Those are the moments where a well-timed hug isn't just remembered, it's longed for. And when you become the woman who knows how to give that at just the right moment, you stop being just someone he likes. You become someone he feels, someone he wants close again and again. Let's talk about physical closeness. Not in a sexual way, but in the deeply human, I want to feel your presence against mine kind of way. When you hug a man, you're doing more than just putting your arms around him. You're sharing space with him. You're letting him feel you, your warmth, your softness, your energy. And here's the truth most people overlook. Men crave physical closeness more than they let on. They crave that feeling of being wrapped up, held onto, grounded, especially when it comes from a woman who knows how to give it with intention. Because here's the thing. So many people hug halfway. You know the type. A one-arm shoulder squeeze, a quick tap on the back, a polite brush before pulling away. And while that may pass as a social cue, it's not the kind of hug that builds connection. A truly unforgettable hug? That happens when you let yourself fully show up in the space. You pull him in, not forcefully, but with certainty. Your body says, I'm not afraid to be close to you. And that presence, that permission, tells him something deeper than words ever could. Think about it. When you really like someone, you want to feel them close. You want to rest your head on their chest, to press your cheek against their neck, to feel the rise and fall of their breath. That closeness doesn't just make you feel safe, it makes him feel safe. And in a world where men are constantly taught to be strong, distant, in control, there's something wildly disarming about a woman who gives him the gift of comfort without needing anything in return. And don't underestimate the power of body-to-body contact. I don't mean sexual, I mean intimate. When your chest rests gently against his, when your arms wrap firmly around his back, when you linger just long enough for him to breathe you in, you create a physical memory, one he'll go back to without even realizing it. He'll feel it when he's alone, when he's stressed, when he's missing something but can't quite name what. And what he'll really be missing is you. This kind of closeness tells a man, you don't have to perform here. You can relax. You're wanted exactly as you are. That message, that's rare, that's healing. And when you give that through something as simple as a full-bodied, present, confident hug, you give him a feeling that lingers long after you've walked away. So next time you hug him, don't hold back. Don't shrink your body or rush the moment. Let yourself be fully there. Let him feel the weight of your affection. Let the hug be something he feels in his chest. Because when you offer physical closeness without fear or hesitation, you become the space he never knew he needed and never wants to be without again. Now let's talk about something deeper. Something that takes a simple hug and turns it into a moment a man never forgets. Emotional presence. See, anyone can wrap their arms around someone, but not everyone knows how to be there while doing it. And that's the difference. A man doesn't just remember the shape of your body or the feel of your skin. He remembers the energy you brought into the moment. He remembers if you were really with him or if your mind was somewhere else. Emotional presence is what makes a hug go from routine to reverberating. So many people live in their heads. They hug while thinking about the next thing on their to-do list. They go through the motions, but their mind is already 3 steps ahead. But when you hug with emotional presence, you're saying to him, this is where I am, right here, with you. And nothing else matters in this moment. That kind of stillness, that kind of focus, it's rare and it's powerful. Because men, just like women, crave to be felt, not just touched. Here's what emotional presence looks like. It's when you slow down, when you're not trying to fix anything, perform anything, or impress anyone. You're just there, breathing with him, letting your body melt into his, feeling his heartbeat and letting your nervous system sync with his. It's when you close your eyes, not to shut him out, but to tune in deeper. It's when you stop trying to control the moment and simply let it happen. That kind of presence is intoxicating. It tells a man that he's not just being hugged, he's being seen, felt, and received. Think about the last time someone hugged you and was fully present, not distracted, not rushing, just there. You remember it, right? It felt safe. It felt grounding. That's exactly what you're giving him when you bring your full emotional self to that embrace. And trust me, he might not have the words for it, but he will feel it. He'll notice how calm you made him feel, how the world seemed to quiet down, how you didn't just touch his body, you touched his center. And here's the real beauty. Emotional presence doesn't require effort. It requires awareness. It's not about doing more. It's about being more intentional, more open, more attuned. And when you drop into your body and focus on the connection instead of the outcome, you create something real, something healing, something unforgettable. You turn a hug into a form of silent communication where your stillness says, you don't need to speak, I already understand. So if you want your hugs to stay with a man long after he's left your arms, don't just be physical, be present, be fully in the moment. Because when you give him the gift of your complete emotional presence, you become a memory that lives not just in his mind, but in his nervous system. And that's how you stay with him long after the hug is over. Let's talk about something most people never even consider when it comes to hugging: sensual variation. Because believe it or not, the way you hug doesn't have to look or feel the same every time. In fact, it shouldn't. If you want to make a man feel something different, something unforgettable, something that draws him deeper into connection with you, then you have to play with how you hug him. The beauty of a hug is in how dynamic it can be. You're not a statue. You're a woman, your movement. And when you bring that soft, intuitive variety into your physical affection, you turn a simple embrace into an experience. Now, when I say sensual variation, I'm not talking about being overtly sexual. This isn't about turning a hug into foreplay, though, let's be honest, in the right moment, it absolutely can be. What I mean is shifting the rhythm, the texture, the tone of your hug to match the moment, your energy or his mood. Sometimes it's pulling him in slowly, letting your arms wrap around him 1 second at a time, as if you're savoring the closeness. And other times it's surprising him with a sudden squeeze, playful and full of joy, like you just couldn't help yourself. It's varying how long you hold on, sometimes lingering, sometimes short and sweet. It's about knowing when to rest your head against his chest, when to nuzzle into his neck, when to slide your hands across his back as you release. That kind of subtle physical storytelling keeps a man hooked, because he never knows what version of your affection is coming next. This variation also signals emotional depth. It shows that you're not just showing up out of habit, you're bringing intention into every moment of connection. You're not just touching his body or dancing with it. You're responding to energy, not routine. And that responsiveness, that's what men find irresistible. It keeps the spark alive. It makes him feel like hugging you is never boring, never standard, and always something he wants more of. And here's something powerful. Sensual variation invites him to become more present with you. When you change how you hug, when sometimes you melt into him and other times you playfully tug him close, you're giving him emotional cues. You're letting him read you, respond to you, and connect with you in new ways. You're creating intimacy, not by saying, let's talk about our feelings, but by using your body to whisper, here's how I feel right now. It's soft, it's powerful, it's deeply feminine, and most of all, it's memorable. So don't be afraid to change it up. Don't fall into the trap. Use your hug like a language. Speak differently each time. Surprise him, soften him, stir something in him. Because when you learn to shift the mood, tempo, and texture of your touch, you make him crave every version of you. And in that craving, he comes closer again and again. So let's bring it all together. A hug is never just a hug. It's a message, a bridge, a chance to leave your mark on someone's heart without saying a single word. And the truth is, when done right, a hug can be more emotionally intimate than anything physical. It's how you let a man feel your timing, your closeness, your presence, your intuition, and your depth. It's how you say, you're safe here, you're wanted, you're felt. And here's the real secret. Most women don't realize the power they hold in their arms. They give polite hugs, distracted hugs, rushed hugs, and then wonder why he doesn't feel emotionally drawn to them. But you're different. You're not going to just give hugs. You're going to give moments. You're going to give connection. You're going to be the woman whose embrace he thinks about long after it ends. The woman who made him feel something he couldn't quite name, but craved more of. So the next time you're with him, slow down. Let the world fade for a moment. Reach for him, not out of habit, but out of intention. Pull him in like you mean it. Wrap your arms around him like you want him to remember it. Let your hug say the things you're not always ready to say out loud. And trust me, he'll feel it deep in his chest. He may never say it, but he'll come back for it over and over again. If you've ever wanted to stand out, not because of how you look, but because of how you make him feel, this is how you do it. Through presence, through touch, through the kind of hug that says, I'm not going anywhere and you'll never forget this moment. You want to be unforgettable? Hug like it, live like it, love like it. Because in the end, it's not the words that stay with him. It's how you made him feel when he was in your arms.